Hey y'all, so today I have a big question. A lot of people don't like to ask, a lot of people don't like to address, and if they address it, they justify it. You might not understand it at first, so we'll get there. My question to you is, where's your residence? Where have you moved? What have you moved right smack dab in the middle of? All right, let me try the question a different way. Have you become desensitized to something? Still not getting my question? Let's talk about it. Let's go to the Bible. In Genesis 12, God tells Abraham to leave where he is. Leave his home, leave his family, go out, and there's another place that he's going to show him. Although God tells Abraham to leave his family, not his wife, but the rest of his family, Abraham decides, no, that's family. I can't leave family. So he does take someone with him. The family member that he takes is his nephew, Lot. Let's not go ahead of ourselves. Let's get there slowly. So when Lot and Abraham leave, they are dwelling together in the same land. Both of them are wealthy men. Both of them have a lot of livestock. So think of it, in the same land, both wealthy, both with a lot of livestock. Eventually, it becomes a little messy. Eventually, there's some type of conflict. Eventually, you're running out of space. The herdsmen are arguing. People just aren't getting along. Abraham decided that it was time for them to part ways. So what Abraham did, because he wanted to bless Lot, he let Lot choose first which direction he wanted to go in. So Lot chose. And when Lot chose, Lot didn't choose with what he knew. Lot chose with what he saw. So Lot looked off in the distance and he saw a land that was green, that was lush, that was beautiful. But there was a problem with that land. Lot knew that where he was looking, it was a wicked place. Yet and still he said, oh, it's the perfect place for me because of what he saw, the lust of the eyes. The thing is, everything that seems to look good is not necessarily good for you. Everything that seems to taste good is not necessarily good for you. Everything that seems to feel good is not necessarily good for you. So Lot decided to make Sodom his residence. See, the thing is, when Lot decided to pitch his tent here and move into Sodom, he either, for one, didn't count the cost or he didn't care about the cost. Lot already had one time where he could have gotten out. Lot had been delivered out of a situation with the Sodomites once because of Abraham. God will give us warning. Lot didn't take the warning. Instead, he decided to stay there. Instead, he decided, this is still where I want to be. I want to stay here within what I know is evil, within what I know is wrong, within what I know is not pleasing to God. What happened is, when God said that he was going to destroy Sodom, Abraham pleaded to God, prayed to God, and God said, no, all these numbers you're calling out is not that many people in Sodom in order for me to save Sodom. But God said, I will save Lot. So God sent his angels to Lot. And when God sent the angels, and the men in the city of Sodom saw these angels as they went into Lot's home, they decided to come and bombard Lot's home. A perverted mob of men trying to get into Lot's home to get to these angels who were males. Lot decided, you know what? Cost number one, my daughters don't matter. He was willing to sacrifice his daughters. He was willing to give his daughters to this mob of perverted men so that they could rape them. Yes, this is going to get a little intense, but it's real. He said, you know what? I'll give you my daughters. First, he lied and said they didn't know a man. His daughters were married, but he didn't care. They were his children. He didn't care. Take them. You can have them. Not only that, the angels told him to grab his family and get out of Sodom. Well, when he decided to go and get his son-in-laws out of the city of Sodom, they said, no, we're staying. We're not going anywhere. They had conformed to where they were. In the Bible, it says to be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Their minds had not been renewed. They had become a Sodomite by this time in their thinking. And so they stayed to be destroyed. Not only were the son-in-laws attached to the city, but Lot himself was connected to the city. Lot himself had become so engulfed in the city of Sodom that he didn't want to leave. When the angels told him that he needed to grab his family and get out. They woke up the next morning and Lot was still lingering there. Lot didn't want to leave. Lot was still slowing around to get out of the city, to the point that the angels had to grab him and his family's hand and get them out of the city. Now there was a direction that was given to them by God. The direction was for them to not turn around. As he was destroying the city of Sodom, do not turn around, do not look back. His wife's heart was so connected that she could not obey. His wife's heart was so connected that she had to turn around. She just had to see. She just had to look back at what God had delivered them from. He's now destroying it. But oh my goodness, don't destroy what you're delivering me from. Even though it's evil, even though it's wrong, even though I should feel conviction in my heart, I feel connection instead. She turned around, and what happened? She turned into a pillar of salt. There where she stood, she died. That's the son-in-laws destroyed. The wife destroyed. Now you would have thought that with the daughters getting out of Sodom, along with Lot, just maybe they're actually saved. Just maybe something's going to be different with them. But the thing is, when you move into a place, you never know what cost you didn't count. You never know how much you affect the people that are connected to you. While Lot, thinking that they had made it out, not knowing that that evil that was within that city traveled with them. Now his daughters had thoughts of doing something evil with their father that they knew was wrong. So what did they do? They got him drunk, so he's no longer sober-minded. He can't think straight. He can't think clear. They do something with their father so that they can have children. That's just how bad it is to have residence in a wicked place. That's just how bad it is when you can connect with the wrong things, with the wrong people, when you can make residence in the wrong places. Now I said all of that to say this and to go back to our question. Where have you made your residence? What have you moved smack dab in the middle of? What have you not count the cost about in your move? Before you move, are you on the edge to move into a place that you know is wicked, that you know is evil, that you know you're going to be doing things that are against the will of God? There is no lukewarm. It is simply hot or cold. If you are on the edge and you think you're getting ready to move into a place of lukewarmness, choose your side. Choose hot or choose cold. Because if you move into a place that is wicked, if you move into a place where you're dabbling with evil, when you move into a place where you know where it is wrong, that atmosphere is not of God, is not conducive to the move of God, is not conducive to the Spirit of God, then you need to exit out. You need to exit left. You need to find your way of escape that God has given you, and you need to go, because you are putting so many other lives in danger. There are now other casualties that you will affect. Lot's whole family, his entire family was affected. His entire estate was affected. Every bit of money that he had, every bit of wealth that he had was now completely gone because he looked and he liked, instead of saying, I look, I know it's wrong, and I'm going to go another way. See, there are so many children and families and marriages and just ourselves, our futures, our destinies that are affected when we decide to make residence in the wrong place. If we know better, we do better. If you know that it's wrong, don't choose wrong. It's not okay. Don't justify it. So many of us justify lukewarmness. So many of us justify doing the very things that we know in the Word of God are wrong. We try to say, oh, it's okay. It's all right. A little bit of this ain't gonna hurt nothing. Guess what? Somewhere down the line, it's going to not just hurt you, but it's gonna hurt somebody else. God gives us plain as day illustrations. And because there's nothing new under the sun, there is nothing new that you can do to trick the enemy. He'll trick you first. And so therefore, we have to be careful of the residence where we decide to plant ourselves. We have to be careful of the residence where we decide to plant our families. We have to be mindful of the decisions that we choose to make as parents, as spouses, as leaders, as just ourselves. If you are by yourself, you still have to be careful of where you're planting yourself, because you will be affected. Your future will be affected. It is necessary that we take these examples because I see so many of us who say we are followers of Christ, not choosing to truly follow Christ, not choosing to truly stick with him. In these days and times, how do we play with him? How are we slack with him? How do we play with him and put other people on the line? It's no joke, y'all. It's no joke. So before you look and say it looks good and choose to go there just because it looks good, when you know it ain't good, choose another route. I'm sure Lot would tell you the same thing. Y'all, I'm sorry. I got a little up there, but I'm going to bring it back down. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching, and tune in next time. Like and subscribe and share. Bye.